Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be sharing what I have completed in January, so all the pictures that I've managed to finish. So I'll go ahead and move these out the way and we can get started. Okay guys, so the first picture that we're going to look at is from Johanna Basford's 2022 colouring calendar. So I went ahead and did January's picture. So it was this one, the sort of tree house with all the foxes and little animals hiding in there. So for this one I used touch markers. So for all these big green leaves that you can see in the background, I based them with the touch markers, and then all the little sort of edges and little finer details I did with the Coors pastel pencils that I got off Amazon, and I filled all the background in with them as well. All of this was done with Coors pastel pencils. The only thing that I did use for this little house here and this little house here were some watercolour highlight pencils. So they were like pastel coloured highlighters, but they started to rip at the paper and like bring the paper off. So I stopped using them and switched to the touch markers and filled in everything that I wanted to do with markers with that. All of this was done with the Coors pastel pencils. And then the bottom piece here, so this tree base, I did this with Arteza pencils because I didn't have any browns in the Coors set, so I had to dip into the Arteza pencils to go ahead and do the tree. And for the little fox at the bottom I used Arteza pencils for him as well. So I'll just bring it up so you can see. I put some Posca on him to give him a little bit of a fur texture, and then this is the top part up close. I put a little bit of white Posca on there to add some highlights, but I didn't go crazy with it. So that was the one for this month. So obviously next month I will do February. So next we've got a picture from Rita Berman's new book that I finished. So I did this as a colour along on my channel. So if you guys want to see how I achieved this, then you can check out the video on my channel. I think it was about 3 or 4 parts for this one. So we used the Arteza pencils to do all of the pencil work. So all of this, the trees, and all of this in the hot air balloon and the little bunting. And then in the background I used the, I think it's Munger soft pastels. So I just used a mixture of like pink, purple and blue to try and get like a sky effect, and then went round the clouds with a white Posca to make them look a bit more like clouds. So I'll just bring it up a bit so that you can have a bit of a better look. So all the little details, like all the dots and stars in the background, I just went over with the Posca pen. And then we've got the little trees in the bottom, and I tried to use some of the pinks and purples so that it matched the hot air balloon as well. That was lots of fun to colour, so thank you to everybody that watched the colour along and left all the lovely comments. Thank you very much. Next we've got A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. So in this one I decided to do this page, which is just like a really fun page. It looks like a little slug with a mushroom house carrying some little gnomes. All sorts of weird and wonderful things. So for this page I used Faber-Castell Black Edition for all the main pieces of the page. So all this yellow bit of plant and the slug and the little mushroom and all the gnomes and things and the clouds. And then for the background I used the Coors pastel pencils. So I just used a bit of a darker blue down here and then went to a lighter blue towards the top. And then I just added a little bit of purple under these clouds here, just to give it a little bit of difference. I left a highlight on the rainbow as well, so I just went over that with the white pencil to blend that together. And I just tried to make it as colourful as I possibly could. So we've got all the different lollipops in all different colours, and I added some highlights to them as well. And then just bright little colours for these little men down here. I'm not quite sure what they are. But that was this page. That was a lot of fun to colour. I do like Lulu Mayo's books because you can just sort of do whatever colours that you want. You don't have to think about it being realistic. So yeah, they're great to colour in. And the only other thing that I used on here was a bit of Posca to go around the clouds and just outline the clouds on there. So that was that picture. Next, from Lulu Mayo, we've got A Million Unicorns. So this is one of the books that I actually want to try and complete. So I decided to go ahead and do another page out of here. So for this one, I used the coarse pastel pencils for basically all of the picture. And then I had to dip into some Faber-Castell black editions just because I didn't have some of the colours that I needed. So for example, the bottom of this tree trunk's quite a dark brown, so I had to use the Faber-Castells for that. And then the dark blue sky that I did in between these little houses was Faber-Castell black edition. And then the unicorn and the bunnies I did with Faber-Castell black edition because I didn't have a colour that I wanted to use for the unicorn in the pastels. So I went ahead and used that, Faber-Castell for that, and then the grey for the bunnies. So I tried to make it look like a bit of a nighttime scene, so I gave the moon a bit of a shine and then went round all of the clouds with the Posca pen as well, just to outline them. And for this sort of purple and blue sky, that was all done with the coarse pastel pencils as well, and all the trees and all the different little mushroom houses. So I'll just bring it up so that you can have a little bit of a better look. I went round him with some Posca as well, just to make him look a bit more like a cloud. But yeah, I quite like how this page turned out. I quite like the moon. I'm not sure if it was meant to be a moon or a sun, but I did it as a moon. So there you go. So I hope you like that page. Next, I've got a picture from Tales from the Forest Kingdom by Hannah Carlson. So I've not long had this book and I've literally only done this little page here and then the This Book Belongs To page. So I decided to do this page. So I decided to use the Brute Ferner pencils to see how they work in this book, because I've just started a colour along in this book for, where is it? For this page, and I'm using the Brute Ferner pencils for this. So I wanted to test them out on this page to sort of see how they worked on the paper and if I liked them or not. But I think they work quite nicely on this paper. So I went ahead and did this picture. So I made the hair bright red to match the little rubies and the little gems within the necklace. And then I did the flowers like a pale greeny colour, and these ones down here the same colour, so that matched. And then all the leaves were the same colour. And for these I went with like a pinky coral colour because I thought they reminded me of like coral that you'd see in the ocean. So I did them like a corally colour and then just added some Posca pen highlight on the ends of them. And then these little waspy type creatures I went ahead and filled in, and I did the wings like a pinky colour and went round a bit of the wings with the white Posca to try and make them look a little bit more like wings. And then I did some Posca in the eyes to give a bit of a reflection on there as well. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how this page came out. I'm not 100% happy with the hair. It's not my favourite, but hair's not my strong point, so I do need to practice on doing hair. So I should be doing more pictures of hair to try and practice. But yeah, this is how this page came out. I actually quite like the face and the flowers in there. So like I say, it's just the hair that I wasn't 100% with, so I will have to work on that in future. But that is this page. And then the last page that I've got to share with you guys is actually a Christmas page. So this is from the Enchanting Christmas colouring book. So this is one that I was working on in December and didn't get finished in time for December's finished pages. So I finished it in January. So with this book, they give you like a picture here that you can use as like a reference. So this is what was done with, I think it's like watercolours or paints. And this is the look that I achieved. So for this I used Arteza pencils, and then I used a white Posca pen to go around and add the little white bits into the background and make his boot look fluffy. And then I had to use acrylic paint as well because the white Posca wasn't showing up as much as I wanted. So I used some white acrylic paint and sort of dotted that on the picture. I'll just turn the light down. Oh, there we go, because the light was reflecting on there. So that's how this picture came out. And it's not exactly the same as the reference picture, but because you're working with pencils, you're not going to get it 100% the same. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one. So that was that picture. And that is everything that I've coloured this month for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.